Welcome to Thursday Science. We're investigating our electricity unit, all to do with energy and energy sources, and now we're starting to look at some alternative energy sources. And we're going to investigate how waste can be turned into an energy source. So we're going to view a slideshow that I've turned into a video in a moment, and there's two questions that I'd like you to answer, and you can see those two questions there. So I want you to listen for and watch for the name of some of the types of waste that are able to be used as biowaste, and also what is the exact difference between biowaste and bioenergy. They're the two things to listen for. So we'll come back to that after we've watched the video. Investigating waste as an energy source. Think about the amount of rubbish your family makes every day. What kind of things end up in the bin? Some places around the world view waste not as rubbish to go into landfill, but as a valuable resource. All types of waste, such as household and industrial waste, are being processed in a range of ways to generate electricity. They are generally processed in places called waste to energy facilities. So, how do we use rubbish? Waste to energy facilities are opening up around Australia and around the world. They are environmentally friendly and are using a sustainable resource, waste, instead of fossil fuel to generate electricity and heating. So using rubbish instead, waste instead. There's a particular plant shown in the picture, and that particular one is in London. Now, it says there are different types of waste to energy facilities in Australia already. A couple of methods used to generate electricity are low temperature gasification technology. What a word, gasification. In this, waste is converted into a synthetic gas and then fired to produce heat energy. The heat energy is then used to produce steam, and you can see how that fits in with our other energy chains. As soon as you have that steam, obviously it can turn turbines and those sorts of things. Thermal heat is also being used, and household and industrial waste are burnt in a specially designed machine to help produce heat energy, and that heat energy is then used to produce steam. So some of the types of waste currently being used as an energy source are crop waste, livestock manure, wood scraps, paper waste, food scraps, and even sewage. Fancy that. These types of waste are also called biowaste. Biowaste is organic waste products from industries that can be used as an energy source. So there's the definition of biowaste. Now, bioenergy is the actual renewable energy that can be extracted from the biowaste. So there's the definition or the difference between biowaste and bioenergy. Okay, so that takes us to this point. We've been viewing the video and now we need to write in some of the types of waste that we used as biowaste and some of the difference or what is the difference between. So pause the video and jot in your answer there. All right, let's see if you wrote some of these down. So there's wastes from crops, food scraps, waste from the production of paper, wood scraps, livestock manure, and even sewage. So the difference between biowaste and bioenergy, this is an example of what you might have written. Biowaste is the waste product from organic materials. Organic means it was once living. So anything that was once living is considered organic. Inorganic, therefore, never living. So some organic materials are wood scraps, as an example, and bioenergy is the energy that can be extracted from that biowaste. So the energy can be extracted, believe it or not, from wood scraps. And obviously, the way that would be done is through burning to create heat. All right, moving on. So there's information here on biogas. I'll read it through with you, but then there's some questions to answer at the end. So what we're listening for are what is landfill? How does landfill make biogas? How is biogas used to generate electricity? And biogas is not a renewable energy source. That's a statement. Is that true or is that false? And then you need to explain why. So, what is landfill? How does it make biogas? How is biogas used to generate electricity? And um, biogas is not a renewable energy source, true or false? And then an explanation. All right, let's go back to this. So, biogas. Many different types of bioenergy are used in Australia. One popular type of bioenergy is biogas, which is extracted from landfills. When we throw our rubbish away, it usually ends up at a waste transfer facility where some of it is recycled. Any rubbish that isn't recycled or that isn't reused is placed in large holes dug in the ground. This is called a landfill site. There you go. So there's landfill, the rubbish that isn't recycled. It can also be called a dump or a tip. Over time, the organic matter in the landfill decomposes. Now remember, organic means once was living. So once living things, food, uh, garden waste and so forth, it decomposes and produces gases that are harmful to the environment. Carbon dioxide and methane gas make up about 90 to 98% of the gases produced by landfills. Methane gas is 21 times more environmentally damaging than carbon dioxide. These gases are called biogas or landfill gas. So that goes through how the gases are produced. And they're basically produced as the organic matter decomposes. So what's done with that biogas? All right, well, a network of pipes is laid throughout the landfill to collect the biogas. The biogas is then extracted and cleaned to isolate the methane gas. The methane gas collected from landfill can be used as an energy source. The methane gas is burnt off to generate electricity. So there's a connection between the gas and the electricity. And again, it's to do with that burning it, which could then be used to heat water and so on through. If biogas isn't collected and used as an energy source, then the gases escape the landfill and enter the atmosphere. A landfill can produce gases for 50 years or more. Therefore, biogas is a renewable energy source. And this is the last question. Is it renewable or not? Well, it says right there, biogas is a renewable energy source because there will always be waste that will always produce biogas. In addition to landfills, agricultural waste, industrial waste, and energy crops also produce biogas. So we now have to answer those questions. There are the 4 questions. We covered those. You may have been filling them in as we went, or you can pause the video now and see if you can answer those. Do that and finish off what you need to. Let's compare what answers you have to these ones. What is landfill? Well, landfill is rubbish that isn't recycled or reused and ends up in a landfill site. Remember the terms dump or tip were also used. How does landfill make biogas? So over time, those organic materials, the once living materials, decompose and gases are produced. So they make biogas. How is biogas used to generate electricity? Well, biogas is collected from the landfill through a network of pipes. It's then cleaned to isolate the methane gas, and the methane gas is then burnt to generate electricity. Now, is that statement true or false? It is clearly false. Biogas is considered renewable because there will always be rubbish and organic materials decomposing, and of course, that produces more gas. All right, we're going to watch a video in just a moment. It's only a short one, and what you have to do is identify what are some of the benefits of recycling food scraps. Obviously, around a school, there's lots of food scraps. Some of those might get recycled, I don't know. But there's benefits for recycling food scraps. So let's watch this video now and see what it tells us so that we can answer that question.
As a society, we find resources and use them for manufacturing, and simply for living. From this comes waste. We can recycle some of it, but most of it usually ends up in landfills that can be poisonous for the surrounding community, and of course be a problem for coming generations. This is the traditional linear economy. But we can change to a circular economy, where energy is recycled in a loop and waste becomes a resource in itself. Waste-to-energy power plants are an integrated part of the circular economy. Waste-to-energy works by burning all the waste at high temperatures to destroy chemicals and remove them from the loop. This heat is then transformed into energy. The steam then drives a turbine that creates electricity and surplus heat, which can be used for district heating or cooling. In this process, we also recover clean water, valuable metals and construction materials from the waste. Waste to energy is simply the most ecologically sound way of turning residual waste into energy that goes straight back into our community. A big win-win for you and our planet.
All right, so let's see if we can answer that question. Definitely talked about the benefits for us. What can you write down as an answer there? All right, pause the video and complete that question. Okay, you could have written something like this. Any of these dot points. So there's benefits for recycling food scraps because they can be converted to energy. They can generate the methane gas, which can be used to generate electricity. And the residue can be composted and used to grow more food. So I don't know if that last one came out of that video, but there's definitely some of the things that we could say there. All right, and just to finish off, it says using bio-waste as an energy source to generate electricity is a great way to reduce the amount of fossil fuels used. So the more that we can reuse things that are considered waste, I guess it saves us on the use of fossil fuels. Now, fossil fuels are very, very big producers of pollution in our environment, harmful gases, greenhouse gases that we hear about, and this use of bio-waste is serving two purposes. It saves the harmful effect of rubbish in dumps, but it also can be used to produce energy. Win-win. So the more bioenergy that we use, the less fossil fuels that we actually need. Done for today, guys. Science is over. One more lesson tomorrow, and then back to everything as normal for school next week. All right, guys, have a great rest of the day. See ya.